I don't know why everyone comes on the internet to bitch about sexism, because I'm sexist. I'm sexist as shit. I fucking hate men. But actually, I'm not sexist, because I hate women too, and that is the true meaning of feminism, equality. Also, I'm really only a feminist at my convenience, because I'm a feminist until there's something real heavy to carry, and then all of a sudden, I'm a damsel in distress. I don't care if I have to feed into your toxic masculinity, if that means I don't gotta carry some shit upstairs or something. My morals go out the fucking window. I'm very depressed today. Goodbye.
He said, "Hi, folks, I'm completely full of shit, and how do you like that?" And the people said, "You know something? At least he's honest. At least he's honest about being completely full of shit."
Understand why you'd be an angry feminist. Like, it makes sense, because if you've been a feminist for more than like 3 months, you will have repeated the same sentence over and over again. Feminism isn't about hating men. Feminism is not man-hating. Just because you're a feminist, it doesn't mean you hate men. You don't have to hate men to become a feminist. Feminism don't hate men. You don't have to hate men to be a feminist. Feminism is not about hating men. And you've said it so many times, and they still don't listen, so now you just kind of hate men. I mean, just a little bit. You just hate them a little bit. It's really hard not to. Have you seen them? Ugh, it's so hard not to. And I know some of you are like, well, not all men. And of course, it's all men. Literally every single one of them. Hate them, hate them, hate them. Someone was like, what about your dad? Especially my dad. That's why I'm up here. All men. Ew, ugh, hate them all, hate them all. And I know that this is a bit offensive to some men in the audience. But to you, I just want to say, cheer up, love. Like, it's banter.
So how many genders are there?
You can't put a number on the number of genders, because everyone uses different words to classify themselves.
I would disagree. That's where it changed my mind. I'm not convinced that anyone can just use any classification for themselves for their gender, and certainly not that then we have to compel society to address them this way. Right? I'm sure you can understand that the compelling of language is an issue.
So what gender do you think you are?
Well, I'm a male.
Okay, well, I think you're a woman.
No, legally I'm a male.
Oh,
it says on my driver's license that I'm a male.
Okay, so that's your sex.
No, yeah, I'm also a male.
That's your sex.
It says on my carrier certificate that I'm a male. Gender. Some legal documentation say gender.
What if I say I don't believe you?
It doesn't matter.
Exactly, it doesn't matter if you don't believe me.
No, it doesn't matter, because biologically...
What gender do you think I am?
I would assume you're female.
Yeah, see, you're making assumptions.
Yes.
I identify as non-binary.
I don't, respectfully, that doesn't matter.
Male gametes. That's what makes me male.
No, your sperm don't make you male.
Then what does?
It's a constellation.
In reality, in truth, okay?
Whose truth are we talking about?
The same truth that says we're sitting in this room right now, you and I.
No, you're not listening.
If I see a chicken laying eggs and I say that's a female chicken laying eggs, did I assign female, or am I just observing a physical reality that's happening in the world?
Does a chicken have gender identity? Does a chicken cry?
Well,
Does a chicken commit suicide? Let's
What does that have to do
frame
with-
it, because you're trying to...
Chicken has sex like any biological
A chicken has
organism.
an assigned gender, but a chicken doesn't have a gender identity.
So we assign female to chickens when they lay eggs?
We assume they're female if they lay eggs.
Is if I'm walking down the sidewalk and a man comes towards me, I'm not moving.
When I was a sophomore in college and I was studying public health, in one of my classes we were talking about misogyny, and my professor brought up that there are some statistics that prove that men do not get out of the way when walking head-on with someone else on the sidewalk, and that women are far more likely to step out of the way to prevent a collision, whereas men just keep going straight through. Ever since that day, I've decided to just body men on the sidewalk. I am 5'10". I usually average between 160 to 180 pounds, depending on, I don't know what I'm doing with my life at that point. I'm technically larger than the average man, and I am not afraid to get a bruise. In the name of feminism, I'm going to walk into men on the sidewalk. because I'm so sick and tired of every little detail of the lives of women having to be around men. I am not going to cater to men anymore. I'm not going to make space for them and reduce my own space. So yes, I do willingly walk into men on the sidewalk. You can either learn the easy way or the hard way.
Bruh. That's right. I broke my ass.
Absolutely pathetic.
Feminism, which is just a literal joke.
Women have more rights than men do these days.
Women have far more privilege than men do. And I've said that to a feminist face. As a man, you're born with quite literally nothing. You are born nothing and no one will ever do anything for you. As a woman, if you're attractive, and here's where basically all the feminists are non-attractive women who are like, yeah, but I don't get anything. It's like, well, yeah, okay, you also don't go to the gym ever. So as long as you're like even a moderately good-looking woman, you will have a man take care of you.
Feminism is a scam. A few years ago, I was an angry, blue-haired feminist. I once believed that male privilege was real, and that I was a victim of the wage gap. Now that I understand the true motives of feminism, I know that this could not be further from the truth, and that modern-day feminism is a war on true masculinity. Before women had the right to vote, most were stay-at-home wives, which meant they weren't working jobs and couldn't be taxed. Our overlords didn't like that. Rockefeller started funding feminist campaigns in media, and as a consequence of the movement, women started entering the workforce and leaving the home. Children would then be separated from their parents and sent to Rockefeller-funded schools to be indoctrinated by the state. All of this ultimately disrupting the family unit at its core. Feminism is defined as the belief in social, economic, and political equality of the sexes. But in the West, I must ask, what rights do men have that women don't? Modern feminists are convincing women that hookup culture, using hormonal birth control, and not shaving is liberation. That toxic masculinity is prevalent and the patriarchy must be dismantled. Through movies and media, we're taught that working for the man, climbing the corporate ladder, and paying tax is more empowering and valuable than raising the next generation. Women have lost touch with our natural loving instincts, and birth rates are plummeting. Men and women are not the same. And by protesting for equality of outcome rather than opportunity, feminists are demonizing and emasculating men.
Feminism isn't actually about equality, it's about equality when it benefits us. It's really about women wanting special privileges and treatment at the expense of men often. And I think it's alive and well, sadly. I think life is easier if you're a girl, actually.
Yeah,
I think there's a lot of benefits that men don't have. I'm not going to speak anything to race, I'm just talking about gender. We have no barriers today.
That ignores a lot that I'm a woman with a disability, so there's a lot stopping me that you don't have to think about.
Well, I'm talking about as a woman.
There are the barriers, right, that we constantly ignore that are very much systemic.
You said that there's, like, barriers. I want to know what barriers in the U.S. today as a woman.
Well, as a woman or as a woman of color?